Last May, the lead vocalist of the British progressive rock group Genesis left the group. Now, when this happens, the group either breaks up or dies a very slow death. But because of the versatility of each individual in Genesis, they're doing very well. Matter of fact, they seem to be doing better than ever before.
The streets were deserted, the police were alerted. They could see the phone full of hoax. Birds of legal arson, jauntily prancing. The youth put the guards underwear. Slipping between them, he ought to have seen them. The guys in their own insomnia. The top shining bright, we strode on in the night till
Genesis is, according to the musical experts, the perfect combination between musicianship and emotion.
our old son, I hope you're having fun. You got it wrong, son, I'm only the cleaner. With that T5, the other same as he died. You done me wrong, it's the same old song. Forever and ever. Robbery, the song of battery. He was completely surrounded, but he had some more drinks up his sleeve. Come outside with your hands alive. You're not getting me alive, sir. I promise you that, sir. That T5.
Their new tour will take them coast to coast, and their music seems to take them and their audiences not only coast to coast, but somewhere out of this world. This is Bruce Morrow at the Beacon Theatre, News Center 4. Ready? Okay. When our lead vocalist leaves a group.
Okay, go ahead. Bruce, don't lean forward too much.
Okay, well, I got to the mic. When a lead vocalist leaves a group, usually a group goes right down the drain. Genesis is still around and sounding better than ever. Why? Why have you escaped this tradition in the business?
I think it's because two reasons, really. First off, musically, I think we're still a very strong force, although we lost a visual frontman. And secondly, we've in a lucky position where we've got a group who's been together for like, 6-7 years, with all the experience that brings. And also, we've got a whole new lot of fresh energy coming in. Phil on vocals, a new drummer coming in. So you've got a nice combination there. Yeah. And I think the freshness is really paying off.
When you're on stage, Phil, you seem to be up and marred.
When the audience is really there with you, then you kind of lay back and play it cool, as it were. But with me, it's the other way around. You know, you tend to sort of, it's like a match. You know, they give you a bit, and you give them a bit more, and they give you a bit more, and you give them a bit more.
Well, what do you feel when you're up there? What kind of thing? You're really kind of busy doing your thing, all kinds of things going on. What do you feel about an audience?
I don't know. I mean,
what's the emotions that go through your head?
Well, I mean, excitement, really. I mean, it's quite a new game for me, you know, singing in front of an audience. So I'm very much caught up in just trying to find new ways of doing things.
It's energy. You know, you get this funny feeling off the audience.
But I mean, they kind of drag it out of you to an extent.
Now, you were in the studio recording for quite some time, and did you know that you had it again, that it wasn't going to slip from Genesis, or did you have to wait until you got in front of an audience for the first time?
Musically, we knew, but the live show, we rehearsed over and over again, right? But not, as you say, not until you actually get out that first gig, which we did a couple of weeks ago. We didn't know till then, and like we were really nervous sitting up in the dressing room before the first show.
What were you thinking about, you know, before the first show? What was going through your mind?
I think we were all thinking, is it going to work? I don't know. Without sounding cosmic, it's just something you feel, and the audience feels it too. It's a kind of communication, I guess.
London, the first date we played was London, Ontario, which is up in Canada, right? And they didn't know us too well, so it was even it was kind of strange. I mean, we were going in there with in one way it was an unknown quantity because I hadn't seen the show before, and in another way it was kind of good for us to sort of play to people that had no kind of comparison at all.
And besides music, you fellas into an awful lot of astral projections. There's all kinds of cones on the stage. I've never seen so much in my life, of 3,000 or 4,000 slides. Is this necessary? Now, you are all fine musicians. Why do we have to get into the shtick, the showbiz? Is it necessary?
Well, we kind of feel that, I mean, practically speaking, a lot of the lyrics of the songs are maybe unusual lyrics, not everyday pop song lyrics. And so the slides and the visuals help get the idea of the song or the mood of the song across to an audience that I couldn't otherwise hear the lyrics. Because in a big hall, not necessarily a place like the Beacon, but in the Montreal Forum, for instance, when you've got 13,000 people and you only need 2,000 people to start whispering to each other, and you've got to kind of buzz, and the PA there's a lot of echo in the hall, so the PA doesn't really carry the voice across. So you get a lot of the lyrics get missed, and so if you can try and put over the story with the visuals, then you're kind of helping yourselves as well as helping an audience. Really.
Your music is very unusual. Where does it come from? Does it come from one of the members of the group, or does everybody get together?
No, we all get together and write. The different songs vary. I mean, some songs are very much one person, two people, all arranged by the band, and a lot of things come from rehearsal rooms. We just sort of sit around, and we often jam for hours on end, and we come to the end, and we put it all down on cassette, and then we play it back, and we sort of pick out bits. So a lot of it's grouped that way.
What about your individual careers now? Do you feel this is going to be a danger? Is it an imminent danger of all groups that men want to go out and women want to go out and sort of go for their own career, find their own level?
I don't know. I mean, we don't talk a lot about this, but it's quite interesting that I believe that a band is always bigger and in a way can achieve more than really any individual in a way. I think a good example is Pete leaving, very much a front man, and yet the band seemed to have emerged stronger. And I think we sort of carry on that direction.
How long were you living with the problem of Pete leaving? How long did you fellas live with the situation on that Peter, your lead singer, was going to leave?
Well, we were on tour in North America Christmas before last, and it'd been on the cards that Peter had other things, other offers, I mean, in terms of writing music for films, that kind of thing. And we knew, and he knew, that that's what he wanted to do ultimately. And so he decided that at the end of the touring, he would leave. And we toured for about 6 months after that with him, with no animosity. I mean, it was just...
So it was a clean split. But I read somewhere, I believe it was your quote, I'm going to not give it verbatim, that it was like a very big load off everybody when he finally did leave. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, now it's paying off in a way. I mean, one feels better about it because you've come out from an underdog situation.
Now,
but I think because we lived with it. It was very in between two stools for a long time. Playing on the road, knowing that the group was changing.
Uncertainty kind of unsettles you. You like to feel you're all going in the same direction. And there was a kind of feeling that Pete wasn't as enthusiastic as the rest of us, and that makes you feel you're marking time a bit.
Where did the idea come from, playing devil's advocate, that you should go up and try the lead singing?
Well, we tried to find a singer initially.
How many people auditioned?
400 tapes in all.
Yeah, we auditioned personally about 20 or 30 people, and they came down to play with us.
And what was wrong? It was just didn't happen.
Well, he used to sing the lines and say, "Okay, this is how it goes," and none of them ever sounded better than him. And we kind of scratched our heads and thought, he was going to sing quite a bit anyway.
On the album.
And the whole thing just evolved slowly. And he did the album, he tried some of the heavier tracks and they really worked. And then we got to the stage thing and we were still looking and we couldn't find. So it kind of, I think Andy suggested it, got the idea going in your head.
Yeah.
His wife.
I mean, I didn't know whether it was going to be accepted first, but it was a kind of wild idea you throw to people. And also, because we had such a strong thing going as a four-piece group, musically, and all we needed was a front man to go on top, then it was more of a big decision, because we were sort of potentially breaking up a musical unit and putting me out front, and I was an unknown quantity out front. But we found a good drummer with Bill Bruford. So, he's not a permanent member, but the basis of the group is the four of us, and as long as we can find as good a percussionist as him for the next few tours, we'll be okay. You know?
What about you're a British group coming over here to the colonies, right? How do you find American audience? Say, compare American audience to what you used to, say, over in Europe.
Audiences are funny. You can call them all the same or all different. I think what we did feel about the States was that we all wanted to start here in a way, this sort of new version of Genesis, because I think they've always treated us more as a group than, say, England. Over the years, as individuals. Although Pete was obviously the front man, America seemed to. I think the individual musicians had more recognition. They always seemed to go more for the music of the band. And so that was basically why I wanted to start over here.
What about American audience? How about you? How do you find them? How do you find them sitting in those front few rows? Is there a different feeling?
Well, you get the first few rows are usually the people that have been queuing for sort of months to buy tickets or something, and they're usually very energetic people. So one gets a good vibe from them. I mean, there's a lot of musicians in the audience, it seems to be in America, and so consequently you end up sort of kind of feeling your way with the musicians. I mean, it's very nice, as opposed to Europe, when they're more casual fans in a way. I mean, they're still dedicated to the group, but they're not necessarily musicians. It's much more of a musical.
When you see the word "sold out" on a marquee, what's the first thing that comes out to your mind?
Second show. Put in another show.
Things like doo-doo and things. You know what doo-doo means? You're not supposed to answer. All right. This is just they're going to match into the original questions over this. It gives it a different point of view, like cutaways, like we did in the stage.
Pretty, Mike.
Okay, let's do it the other way now.
And now you look at him, you look at me.